Look, I've tried to give the story, more specifically the writers, the benefit of the doubt. Now, don't get me wrong, though. We still got 2 episodes left. Maybe they will flip the script on us, pun intended, next Wednesday or maybe even this week. But I've done a video talking about how, honestly, when I look at the Jordan and Andi dynamic this season, it just feels off. The chemistry and acting and whatnot. So it's hard to believe that Andi would sacrifice herself willingly to Gary if it means protecting Jordan at all costs. I just don't buy their relationship to the point of she literally said, I love you. And then, like, the next day breaks up with him. And then 2 weeks later, she's getting married to Gary. It just doesn't make sense to me at all. And honestly, I've tried to go, man, if they would have wrote it in a way where, oh, Andi tells Penelope and whatnot, and then, they decide to have it where Andi is the bait. It's like, look, I'm going to play possum and, Trojan horse the situation. Basically, lull Gary into a sense of security and control. And all the while, Penelope, you, Agent Watt, and everybody else, they're doing what they can behind the scenes in order to take this SOB down. So I just got to buy time as much as I can. But that doesn't seem to be the case. I've already said I would hate for them to have it where that is the situation, or at the 11th hour, Andi has been stalling and trying to find out things behind the scenes the entire time while acting the fool, acting the victim. But based on Andy's acting, or not Candy. I got a sweet tooth right now. KJ's acting for Andi for the past several episodes, and the fact that she quote unquote disappeared for like 2 weeks, and everybody's like, yo, she always says she's busy with work. What's going on? Something tells me that isn't the case of her doing some secret private eye stuff behind the scene. It just doesn't fly with me. I hate to say it, but it wouldn't surprise me if somewhere deep down, Andi is willingly going through with this because she still loves Gary. When you think about it, Lord, okay, don't come at me in the comments, but this is kind of like my reaction to what I've seen a lot of people saying about like the political landscape we live in right now. Honestly, no, I'm not going to apologize for this because SNL had a very good sketch about this almost 4 years ago during the Biden-Trump, election run back in 2020 or whenever. I think whenever the heck the election was, 2019, 2020, where they talked about how, yeah, if Trump loses, politics will be boring again. Like he always tweets something. He always says something. We always were in the know of the political landscape because Trump would do something and it would go viral. But ever since Joe got in office, nothing has really popped off aside from, the Biden antics, like falling off bikes, tripping over himself, freezing during interviews, whatever. And I thought that honestly is a interesting comparison to Andi, because even though she seemingly was in a healthy relationship with Jordan, it must have been boring for her compared to Gary because nothing ever really popped off. I mean, remember, she's just now saying I love you after being in a relationship with this dude for like 3+ months. And it just has me going, you know what? There's really no drama. This is a healthy, stable relationship. But all the while, Andi's holding secrets back, because even though Jordan doesn't have a lot of drama going on like Gary did, you have Andi and Penelope working behind the scenes to take Gary down. So when you really think about it, Andi has been wearing the facade of I'm having such a lovely time, even though I'm not going to say I'm in love with my boyfriend Jordan. And if you just go back to episode 1 of this season, when Gary and Penelope come over to the penthouse and Andi looked to be putting on a show, almost like she was purposefully taking digs at Gary just to set him off, because he was the one who was like really irritable and agitated, and she was the one who was calm, cool, and collected. And I'm like, this is her putting on a show because she's showing that she's unbothered by Gary and it would get under his skin, and she knows this. And I'm just like, nah, it's like Gary's doing too much, but I think Andi's putting on a show just because to show, hey, my life is so much better without you, Gary. Oh, I'm happily in a relationship. Aren't you and Penelope happy? And then remember at the same time, she's doing the whole Nancy Drew thing behind Jordan and Gary's back where Penelope's trying to find out information and whatnot. And like I said before, while she's in this relationship with Jordan, she's still focusing on Gary behind his back, putting his own sister in danger. And doesn't that sound a lot like Karen when it comes to like the Zach thing where she's with Aaron, but then when Aaron seems to be doing well, when Zach seems to be moving on and whatnot, she's focused on him as opposed to the good man that's right in front of her. So yet again, it goes back to the whole thing where the sisters are a lot alike. Even though the on-screen chemistry might not be there, the characteristics and, behavioral traits of all of them definitely mirror each other. Like, despite being an airhead, Sabrina is a lot like Andi in how she treats men. And then when you have Karen and, the Andi comparison I just made, kind of the same thing too. No wonder they're besties. Then when it comes to Danny, she's the loose cannon of the group, but she's just as willing to hop into bed with anyone just like the rest of them. So I truly feel like when it comes down to it, Andi might just be going along with this just because like, oh, you know what? Oh, I just can't. I don't know what to do. I just need to sacrifice myself for Jordan. It's almost like she was looking for any way to get out of this relationship just because, oh, Gary's doing all this for me. Oh, okay. Well, Penelope's out of the picture, so I guess I will get. No, I feel like Andi deep down, she does want to marry Gary, even though it's toxic as I don't know what, because she wants this. She lives in the drama. That's all I'm saying. So, do you think that Andi is playing the victim, or is she really into this, but she doesn't want to admit it? Because, like I've said before, there are numerous ways she could have gotten out of this. There are numerous people she could have told to handle the situation. But Jeremy, she told Fatima, yeah, but again, she's talking with Penelope, who's with the freaking FBI right now, so why not say anything? So, I don't know. Again, it boils down to how the writers set the story up to cap off at the end of the season, and I really hope to talk with a couple of them over, next month once the show goes on hiatus, because I have so many freaking questions. But with that being said, let me know your thoughts on Andi's demeanor this season. Like, do you really feel like she's an unwilling participant in this upcoming wedding with Gary? Or do you think deep down this is what she's always wanted and everything's set up in a way, oh, Penelope and the baby, well, the baby's out of the way, I don't have to worry about that. Jordan's on a short leash, so if Gary pushes the nuke button, his life is destroyed. Yeah, I finally got my man. That's why I'm thinking is going through Andi's head right now. So like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.